Hi, you made it to your practice. Welcome. I hope it's a good one. If you do enjoy it and you'd like to let me know, comment below, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with your friends, family, anybody that you might think will benefit from it. As always, thank you. Really appreciate you being here. Enjoy. And you could choose to have your knees wide or your knees a little closer together. If your knees are wide, your spine will be a bit more long. You might be a bit closer to the ground, your torso resting between your legs. If your knees are closer together, your torso, your belly will rest on your thighs. So it will be a little bit more of a rounded child's pose, which might feel nice for the back body too. So see where you're at. We'll take a few moments to feel yourself on the ground, the support of the ground underneath. And then you could use your breath to make some space for whatever's going to come now or next. So you could think about your inhales as expanding and creating that space in the body. And then your exhales, as you let go of that air, as you empty out, you kind of free up that space once again. It will fill again with air. Empty out. And then more on kind of like a kind of mental level, shall we say. The inhales could be about finding that space. The exhales about letting go of whatever is there so that you can have space for whatever is next. Your eyes might be closed here. Finding your way into your practice. And maybe reminding yourself that your practice is yours. I'll give you suggestions, ideas. Use them as opportunities to find movement, exploration, sensations, to learn something about yourself today. If you can, also to make yourself feel good. And then from your child's pose, extend your arms in front of you and come onto your fingertips, lifting the palms, lifting the forearms, the elbows. And take an inhale and expand a bit more, feel a little bit more around your shoulder blades. And then take an exhale and begin to draw the belly away from the floor, a bit more towards the spine, your lower ribs drawing in. And again, as you inhale, think about expanding, stretching through the shoulder blades. As you exhale, feel the front ribs draw in towards one another, towards the spine. And then one more like that. You're still on your fingertips. And then walk your hands towards the right, walk your left fingers a little further, or maybe stack that left hand on top of the right hand. Let your left armpit drop towards the floor, maybe a little twist of your torso towards the right. Breathe into that left side body. And then walk your hands back through center, all the way to the left. Same idea here. Maybe you stack the right hand on top of the left. Drop your right armpit towards the floor, turning a little bit the torso to the left. And then breathing into this right side body. And then walk your hands back through center. And then relax your arms down. Maybe make a pillow for your head or your forehead. Maybe make a shelf for your head with your hands. Take a full breath in and out. And then with your next inhale, come back onto your hands. Walk your hands in some and then walk your knees towards one another if you had them wide apart. Tuck your toes and then return your sit bones towards your heels. We're going to walk the right hand towards the right foot. So it's going to come out to the right and then back behind us. See if you can catch the heel and then lift your torso, reach your left arm towards the ceiling, coming to stand on your knees as you find a bit of a back bend, a half camel. And then we're going to return to that child's pose. Sit bones down. You might keep your toes tucked. Arms in front of us. Now the left hand is going to come towards the left foot. See if you can catch the heel. And then walk your right hand in as you lift your torso. Come onto your knees. Lift your hips, chest at half camel. Maybe you're looking towards the left. And then let's try that again. We're coming back to that child's pose. Arms in front. Right hand towards right foot. Rising up. Turn your torso some towards the right. Maybe you're looking down at your right heel. And then come back to your child's. Left arm back. Find that left foot. Lift. Squeeze through the glutes. Find that lifting through your chest. Maybe looking down towards the left heel. Let's do one more of each at your own pace. And then we'll come back to child's pose. Take a breath here. And then coming through table on your inhale and lift the heels of the feet towards the glutes, cow pose. And then on your exhale, tuck your toes, plant the balls of the feet, float your knees, cat, rounding the spine. And then again, lower your knees, heels to glutes, cow. And then tucking the toes, float the knees, cat. And again, inhale, that cow pose. And exhale, floating knees, round spine. One more time, just like that. Inhale. And exhale. And then return the knees to the mat, untuck your toes and tap the tops of the feet down. Spread your toes and see if the toenails can also make contact with the ground, any amount. And then we'll pause the feet, and then we'll turn the left fingers towards the left side. We'll turn the right fingers towards the right side. And then the left fingers any amount towards the left knee, and the same thing with the right fingers, any amount towards the right knee. And then return, fingers out to the sides, forward, and now facing one another, in. And then again, forward, out to the side, towards the knees. And then one more like that, out to the side, forward, facing one another. And then forward, out to the side, and then towards the knees any amount, and then pause here. We'll take an inhale, find cow pose, and then on your exhale, find cat, and then send your sit bones towards your heels any amount. Maybe the heels of the feet, of the hands lift, maybe your palms lift, and only you leave your fingers on the mat. So quite the stretch for those wrists, those hands. And then return, palms down, shoulders over wrists, coming into that cow pose. Try that again. Round your spine, cat, and then take those sit bones back as you peel the palms off the mat. Keep your fingers on it. And then return, palms down, cow pose, last one. Exhale, find that rounding, peel the palms off the mat. Keep your fingers on it. And then come back onto your hands. Turn your fingers to face forward. And then flip the left hand over. Top of the hand to the mat. Spread your fingers. Press down through the fingernails. Stay here or send your shoulders, your hips back a bit. Finding that counter stretch, but be gentle. And then when you're ready, left palm down and switch. Right palm up. Top of the hand to the mat, spread your fingers, press down through the fingernails. If you'd like, send those shoulders, those hips back a bit to find extra stretch if you need it. Another breath. And then return, both hands down. Give your fingers a little tap against the ground. And then tuck your toes. We're going to find again those hovering knees and shins. Now keep a neutral spine. Okay? Walk your feet off the mat towards the right side. Keeping your hips and shoulders level. And then walk your feet back through center and over towards the left side. Any amount here. See what's available. And then again back through center. Take another breath in, hovering knees. And then on your exhale, take it into a down dog. Lift your knees and hips. You can keep it this shorter down dog. Heels of the feet plant. Drop the head and look under one armpit. And then look under the other. And then again, maybe switching side to side a few times. And then from this shorter down dog, walk your hands towards your feet as you come towards the back of the mat. Forward fold, dropping the head. On your inhale, bend your knees and rise into chair pose. Sweep your arms forward and up. And then as you exhale, fold again. Sweep your arms down, maybe back and up as your head drops towards the floor, straightening legs. Moving like that again. Inhale, chair pose. And exhale as you fold and let your arms sweep up if that feels good. Another one. Inhale, chair. And exhale as we fold. Last one like that. Inhale, chair. And exhale, fold. On your inhale, find chair pose. We're meeting there. Exhale, bring hands to your heart. And now come onto the ball of the right foot, lifting your right heel, but stay in your chair position. And then lower that right heel and switch. Lift the left heel. And then lower. And switch right heel. And lower. And left heel. And lower. With your next inhale, straighten legs, reach tall. See if you can catch your left wrist with your right hand and pull it over towards the right side. You can send your hips a little bit to the left, press down through your left foot. If there is space, you could look up towards the ceiling and take a breath in and out. With your next inhale, come back through center, switch the wrist, left hand around right wrist, take it up, over to the left side. And again, here you could send your hips a bit to the right. Maybe you look up if that feels good. And take a breath. As you inhale, come back through center, sweep your arms wide and fold over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift your hands to your shins, that spine more or less parallel to the ground. Exhale, fold, dropping the head. Again, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And another one, inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold. Now with your next inhale, walk your hands to the top of the mat and find a plank pose, your hands more or less under shoulders. Push away through the heels of the feet and then see if you can draw pubic bone, belly button and lower ribs a little closer together. And take a full breath in. Soften through your face and breath out. Another one here. Imagine pushing the floor away with your hands. And then with your next exhale, lift your hips up and back and downward facing dog. So now your down dog is a bit longer. Maybe the heels of the feet stay lifted, but allow them to be heavy. Sit bones are reaching up and back. And you continue to push the floor away with your hands. Come back to a breath in and a breath out. Another one. This time on your inhale, walk your feet to your hands, top of the mat. And as you exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, chair pose, bend your knees, rising up. And on your exhale, bring hands to your heart. Again, left heel is going to lift. You're coming onto the ball of the foot. And then lower. Right heel lifts. And lower. Do that again, or both heels at the same time. A little bit of extra balance here for a breath in. A breath out. One more inhale. And then both heels plant, straighten legs, reach tall, side bend on your exhale. Come back through center, breathing in. And to the other side, breath out. Come back through center, inhale. Your left foot is going to step back, warrior 3 for a moment, hold it. And then bend into your right knee and land into a lunge onto the ball of the left foot. Lifting through the torso, reaching your arms overhead, inhale. And then on your exhale, bend your left knee, hover it over the ground and bend your elbows. Think about goddess arms, kind of cactus, 90-degree angles as you bend through that left knee, hovering. Hold here, squeeze through the left glute, take a full breath in. Breath out. And then as you inhale, straighten that back leg, reach your arms tall. And on your exhale, back heel down, warrior 2, opening your arms, reaching forward and back. Inhale, straighten that front leg, palms touch overhead. And exhale again, warrior 2, bend into the knee and reach your fingers forward and back. Again, inhale, straighten front leg, hands might touch overhead. Exhale, warrior 2. One more, just like that. Inhale. And exhale, warrior 2. Now keep your front knee bent, reverse warrior, inhale. On your exhale, side angle. 2 more, just like that. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. And 1 more. Inhale, reverse. And exhale, side angle. Now as you inhale, straighten that front leg. And then pivot on your right heel. Turn all 10 toes to the same side. Hands to your hips. Take another breath in. And then fold forward from your hips, forward and down. Release your hands, halfway lift, inhale. And fold forward, exhale. 2 more like that. Inhale, half lift. Fold, exhale. And another one, halfway lift. And fold, exhale. As you inhale, come all the way up, reaching your arms overhead. And on your exhale, return to your warrior 2, top of the mat, bending that right knee. Take another breath in. And exhale, hands to the mat, and take it all the way into a downward facing dog. Right foot steps back, sit bones up and back, drop the head. Full breath in and full breath out. One more here. With your next inhale, walk forward, feet to hands. And on your exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, chair pose. And exhale, bring hands to your heart. You could choose to lift one heel at a time or steady your gaze and lift both heels at the same time. Hold here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Maybe sitting a little lower. Another breath in. Breath out. And last, inhale. And on your exhale, heels down, straighten legs, reach tall, side bend, exhale. Back through center, inhale, and side bend other side. Back through center, inhale. This time it's the right leg that's going to step back. Find a warrior three for a moment. So that balance with your right leg reaching back, crown of the head reaching forward. And then when you're ready, bend into your left knee. Slowly with control, land on the ball of the right foot. Once you've landed, reach your arms up. Lift the torso, and then on your exhale, find those cactus arms and bend and hover through the right knee. Pausing here. Broaden through the chest, feel a little squeeze through your shoulder blades. Squeeze through the right glute. Take another breath in. Breath out. And then as you inhale, straighten that front leg, reach your arms tall. And as you exhale, warrior two, back heel down. Reach your arms forward and back. And then on your inhale, straighten front leg, maybe hands touch overhead. As you exhale, bend into the front knee, lower those arms, warrior two. Two more times, inhale, lift. Exhale, warrior two. Another inhale, lift. Exhale, warrior two. Now keep that front knee, that left knee bent, reverse warrior, inhale. And side angle, exhale. And again, reverse, inhale, stay with your breath. Side angle, exhale. One more, inhale. And side angle, exhale. Now as you inhale, rise, straighten that front leg, hands to hips, pivot on your left heel, and again a wide leg stance with your feet more or less parallel facing the same direction. Take a full breath in, and on your exhale from your hips, hinge forward and down. Release your hands, halfway lift, and fold, exhale. And this time we'll take it into a twist. So left hand more or less under the nose. As you find that half lift, turn the torso towards the right and maybe sweep your right arm towards the ceiling, maybe even gaze up too. And then we'll switch, right hand down, and then we'll open up towards the left. Left arm could sweep up. And then let's do one more of each. Left hand down, turn to the right. And last one, right down and twist to the left. And then both hands down. From here, rising up, you could sweep your arms overhead. Return to your warrior two, left knee bends, reaching those arms forward and back. Now take a full breath in. And on your exhale, hands to the mat and downward facing dog. We'll meet there. Finding once again that steady breath. Maybe a softening through your jaw. That extra push through the hands. One more inhale. Exhale. And now with your next inhale, lift your heels and then slowly lower your knees to the mat. Find a table pose. Bring your hands more or less under your shoulders, your knees more or less under your hips. And then when you're ready, extend your left leg out behind you. Find some movement through your ankle, a few rotations in both directions. And then point the toes away from you and send your left foot all the way over to the right side. So it's crossing, and then tap the floor. And then bring that leg back through center, now all the way over to the left side and tap the floor. And then again, keeping the leg more or less straight, center over to the right side and tap. And center and over to the left and tap. One more just like that. Center, taking space over to the right. And then center and all the way over to the left. And once you get to the left, plant your left foot. See if you can plant the pinky edge of the foot too, and your toes are going to be pointing towards the top of your mat. Walk your hands a little forward, and then as you inhale, bring your hips and your shoulders forward. And then as you exhale, send your hips back towards your right heel. And then again, come forward on the inhale. And take it back as you exhale. And another one, forward inhale. And back, exhale. And now as you inhale, come forward. Bring again the hands more or less under your shoulders. And we're going to thread. The right arm is going to open up to the right side. Turn your torso right. And then on your exhale, thread the right hand towards the left foot. So underneath the left arm, right shoulder coming towards the ground. And then we're opening up to the right again. And we're threading left. Another one like that, open. And exhale, thread. With your next inhale, open to the right. And now on your exhale, send that right arm forward, as far forward as you can. Land on your fingertips. Maybe you land that hand on a block, and then come onto your left forearm, so you come in closer to the ground. And getting a stretch through that right armpit, right side. You could rest your head on that right shoulder or upper arm if that feels good. Give yourself a couple breaths here. Maybe some open mouth exhales. And then as you're ready, walk your right hand back towards you. Come back onto both hands. See if you can lift the pinky edge of that left foot. Your leg is still extended out to the side, but we're going to engage a bit more through the outer part of the leg. See if you can then lift your left leg up, send it out behind you, and then return to table pose, both knees down. Give yourself a cow and a cat, breathing in. And breathing out. And then as you're ready, let's come back to neutral spine and let's find all of that on the other side. So your right leg now is going to extend behind you. Keep it lifted and find some movement through the ankle. Maybe slow it down. And then point the toes away from you, and let's take that right foot all the way over to the left, tapping the floor. And then back through center, and then all the way over to the right and tapping. And then again, center and left. Center and right. One more, center to the left, and then center. And this time, as you bring it to the right, plant. See if you can plant the pinky side edge of the foot too, all these toes pointing forward. Maybe you walk your hands forward some, and then again we're coming forward on the inhale, and then we're going back as we exhale. That rocking motion. You could add a bit of cow and cat through the spine. As you come forward, it's a bit more cow extension. As you move back, it's a bit more flexion. And let's do one more. And then the next time you come through center, realign those hands if that works for you. And then we'll do the threading on this side. So we'll turn towards the left. Left arm might follow along with the torso, reaching up. And then left arm threads under the right as you thread right. And then again, open up to the left. Maybe the gaze follows along. Thread to the right. Another one, open. And then we'll open up again. And then on the exhale, we're going to reach forward. Swim that left arm forward. Land hand on block or maybe onto your fingertips. And then see if you can come onto your right forearm. Keep sending your sit bones back as you reach forward with your left fingers. And then let your left armpit drop towards the floor. Extra stretch there. Maybe even the weight of the head if that feels good. Your right foot is still planted. Maybe some open mouth exhales. Is there anywhere in the body that could let go that's not necessary that it's holding on right now? And then let's use the next inhale to come back, walking that left hand in, come back onto the hands. And then again, we're going to find that strength through that outer right hip leg. So when you're ready, peel the pinky side edge of the foot off the ground. Draw the toes towards your shin. Always find that that really helps engage. And then see if you can push the floor away with your hands and then lift that right leg. Send it all the way out behind you. And then return to your table pose. Nice work. Take an inhale, cow. And then on your exhale, find downward facing dog. And let it be this shorter down dog. Your hands a bit closer to your feet than usual. And then you could take your feet to the edges of your mat. So feet wide. Allow the head to drop. More weight into the legs than into the arms. And maybe once again, some open mouth exhales. And now let's work those hands towards the feet, coming to the back of the mat into this wide leg forward fold. You can hold onto opposite elbows. Or you could interlace your fingers, bring the hands to the back of the head, adding the weight of your arms for extra traction through your spine. Knees can be as bent as you'd like. And take a full breath in. And a full breath out. And then we're going to come into a squat. So from here, draw the heels of the feet in, toes out. And then explore lowering your sit bones towards your heels. And for some of us, we'll go lower, others will go a little less. You're more than welcome to come in and out of it. So moving into the squat and then out with your hands on the ground or your hands on a block might be nice. If staying in your squat feels good, you might also find some movement there. So once you are down, your hands could stay down or you could bring them to your chest, but you could find a little movement kind of turning from side to side, allowing one knee to drop in some and then the other one. You could also lift one heel and then lift the other. So a bit of movement there. See what's available. So kind of, some freedom here. And if you'd rather be in stillness, if that feels good, feel free to do that too. The common thread here is that there is breath and there is presence, exploration and curiosity. About 4 to 5 more breaths. You might even close your eyes or squint them some. And then from here, we'll lower the hands back down if they were lifted, and then slowly straighten the legs, lifting those sit bones up. And then turn your toes, now your big toes, to face one another a bit more, not completely, but more kind of internal rotation rather than external. So heels out, toes in, and then fold over your legs like that. You could wrap your arms behind your legs, find your inner thighs, and then pull those inner thighs towards the space that's behind you. So you're countering the external rotation in that squat, and now with some internal rotation through your legs. And see how that feels. And then we're going to try and keep this slight internal rotation. So not super exaggerated, but think about, again, inner rotation of your legs as we take this into a plank pose. So plant your hands, walk your hands to the top of the mat. And now as you come into your plank, it's like your inner thighs facing or trying to lift up towards the ceiling. So find kind of that idea. And so quite a strong pose after that squat. Keep pushing the heels of the feet away. And keep that internal rotation happening through your thighs. Draw the lower belly gently up and in. Try to flatten out the tailbone. Take another breath. And then on your exhale, lower your knees to the mat. Child's pose. You choose. Knees stay together. Or if you still would like knees wide, you could do that. Let the head drop towards the floor, and anything that feels good with your arms. Maybe you're extending them out in front, or maybe you're wrapping them in underneath you or under your head. Breathing in and breathing out. One more here. From your child's pose, begin to lift your spine. And then sweep your feet to one side, and we'll find a seat. Legs come in front of us. Feet and knees wide, knees are bent. If you've got your block, bring that block and plant it between your feet. You could do the high setting. I find that's extra nice. So you're going to keep the feet planted in the same position, your knees wide, and then you're going to walk your hands, block, torso between the legs, and you're going forward. And go as far as it feels right. Think about this as a stretch for the back body, armpits. Allow the head to drop heavy if that's comfortable. Now you could stay here, or depending how far forward you've gone, you might let go of that block and then bring your arms underneath your legs. So sweep that left arm under the left leg, out to the left, the right arm under the right leg, out to the right, and you might even wrap your hands on top of your feet. And kind of now you've wrapped your leg, or you've brought yourself kind of under your legs. And again, now depends how things are feeling here. Maybe your feet walk forward some. But again, not necessary. Just see where you're at and how things are feeling. And remember, if there is any goal right now, is to feel good. So if something's not feeling good, no need to go there. Wherever you are, breathe. If you had your arms under your legs, begin to bring them out of there. And then begin to walk your hands in, lifting your torso. Bring your feet in, soles of the feet together, and let your knees go wide away from one another. Your hands could be around your shins, or you could place your hands behind you, broaden through your chest. Find a bit more lift through your spine. Take a breath in. And take a breath out. Another one here. And then use your next inhale to bring your knees up. Plant your feet, and we're coming on to our back body. So if you'd like, reach your arms out in front. Take a breath in. And then keeping your feet well planted, slowly let that back body come onto the ground. See if you can feel your lower back arrive first. And then see if you can feel your back ribs arrive. Feel your shoulder blades make contact. And then lastly, feel the back of your head arrive on the ground. And then once that back body is nicely supported, bring those knees into your chest. We'll go into a happy baby. Left knee towards left armpit, right knee towards right armpit. Hands could stay behind the knees, heels of the feet heavy, or you could reach the feet towards the ceiling. Maybe hands walk towards the soles of the feet. We're trying to keep that back body grounded. But you could move from side to side if that feels good. Chances are the back of the neck can lengthen a bit more. You could also draw the chin from one shoulder to the other as you press the shoulder blades down. And emphasizing your exhales. That idea of the exhales is now letting go of effort, bringing you closer and closer to the ground, to that support. And then releasing your happy baby, planting your feet to the outer edges of your mat with your knees bent, and then letting the knees rest against one another. You could bring your hands to your belly, lower ribs. And then notice the movement of your breath under your hands. And then see if you can begin to lengthen, especially your exhales. Maybe make them just a bit longer than your inhales, without forcing or straining. And then even see if you could add a slight pause at the end of your exhale before the inhale happens. And again, it's not straining. It should be kind of just that availability of some space there, and there isn't a rush to breathe back in. So just that moment there of that extra stillness. And see if you can explore that a little bit here. And then when you're ready, let go of that exhale exploration. Allow your breath to be now whatever it is, a breath that you don't have to think about, you don't have to make happen in any certain way. And as you let the breath be whatever it is, also let yourself be whatever you are. We're moving into Shavasana. We've got about 3 minutes or so. As always, if you'd like to take a longer one, feel free to mute me or even to switch off, so that when I get us out of Shavasana, you can stay, you don't get distracted. So that's always a possibility too. For the next few minutes, nothing else to do, Shavasana. return your awareness to your breath. And as you make that breath a bit more obvious, allow your breath to guide movement back into your body. Moving in any way that feels right, smaller, bigger movements. And taking your time to eventually find a seat where we'll meet to end practice. And you could choose to rest your hands in your lap or bring your hands to your chest. Or maybe your eyes stay closed for a bit longer. You might give yourself an extra breath. And as always, we take this time to acknowledge, appreciate the practice itself. And to then acknowledge, appreciate ourselves and our own practice. To acknowledge, appreciate, remember all those who practice with us. And to appreciate all those who make it possible. And we end with a word that means that the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.